guys, good morning. So I'm outdoors right now and we are on day 5 of our Sukkot and Feast of Tabernacles celebration. And beyond a shadow of a doubt, there is so much deep spiritual meaning that the Father has during this set apart time to reveal to his people and to speak to us. So I just pray that as we are celebrating and looking forward to the coming of our Messiah and when he sets up a righteous kingdom, that our hearts will be open to receive from the Father whatever he has to speak to us. And as we look forward to that time when our King tabernacles among us and he sets up a righteous kingdom that is full of peace, justice, freedom, liberty, there won't be any murder, abortion. I mean, you could just go on and on of how beautiful and righteous it will be. As we look forward to that with longing and excitement and we celebrate how one day that will come to pass, it also helps us to examine ourselves and ask us, are we a bride that is ready? Am I a bride who has made myself ready to meet my King? Because our King, he is not coming back for any people. He is only coming back for his people who have made themselves ready to meet their Creator, who are set apart unto him and his ways, a bride whose lamp is lit, whose heart is burning with desire and longing to meet her King, whose ways are set apart, who is clothed in white linen clothing which represents the righteous acts of the saints. Am I a bride that is ready to meet my Maker? I was with a group of friends the other day and we were praying and someone prayed a prayer that I never hear, and it really sobered me and I haven't stopped thinking about it since they prayed it. She prayed, Father, please give us more time because your bride is not ready. We have not made ourselves ready. We need more time to get ready to meet you. And that hit me so hard because I was just like, you're right, Father, we are not ready. Your bride, we are still tangled in so much mixture with the world whenever we look around. And it made me think about a few characteristics of a bride. Number 1, a bride is burning with longing, desire, and excitement to meet her husband and her King. All day long, he is on her mind, and she thinks about how she can please and honor and serve him. And made me think about, where's my heart? Is my heart fully devoted on him? Or am I still attached to the things of this world? Am I still self-seeking, self-pleasing, worried about what others think of me? Where's my heart and where are my desires? And I realize so much of it is still focused on this world. So Father, cleanse me, purify me, make me a bride that is ready. Another thing is, a bride does not mess around with other men whatsoever. She doesn't mess around with other gods. She doesn't serve other men. And a bride is humble, meek, and honestly, the biblical definition of humility is obedience, submission. Not my will be done, but yours alone, Father. I'm completely surrendered and submitted to you alone. A bride says, just one word from you is enough to change my life forever. A bride says, I don't have to know why, you just have to say so, and I'm ready to go. I'm all in. I don't have to understand everything, but if you've said it, I believe it, and that's enough for me to change my life. And honestly, y'all, a bride knows her man intimately. Have you encountered him? Have you experienced him? Have you known the depths of his love towards you? Do you know what he loves and what he hates? What's on his heart right now for his people during this time? Do you know what his spirit is speaking to us? Do you know where he's at and where he's tracking? Do you know his standard? Do you uphold his standard? Have you met him? Do you know him? Because a bride is intimately acquainted with her man and with his ways. That's very important. And one last thing that is very important to tie this back into the Feast of Tabernacles, a bride does not miss a date. Yes, every day she hangs out with her man. She has breakfast with him, she chats with him, she chills with him, she walks with him. But there are certain times when her man says, hey, I want to take you out on a date and I want to do something special with you. And let me tell you, that bride is not missing that date. She is going to prepare, she's going to get ready, she's going to be on time, and she's going to show up for that date. And there are certain times in the Word where the Father says, yeah, I want to speak with you every day. I want to chat with you every day. I want to chill with you every day. Do not stop praying. Be in continual praise and worship of me. But there are certain times that I have set apart where I've invited you to meet with me, to go on a date with me that is special, because I want to teach you something unique. And that's what we're doing there in the Feast of Tabernacles. We're on a date with our King, and he's teaching us truth about his word, and we're getting prepared. So y'all, now is the time to be a bride that is prepared, ready to meet her Maker. It doesn't matter how we grew up. It doesn't matter if no one follows us. If he says it, that's enough for us to change our lives forever. Because whether we realize it or not, how we grew up, the church we may have grown up in, whatever religion, it is seeped full of so much paganism and of so many things that the Father says, come out of her, my people. And the Father is calling us ways. He's calling us to prepare, to be a bride that is ready to meet him. So, though none go with me, still I will follow. And a bride says, remember, a bride says, one word from you is enough for me to change my life forever, because you're all that matters. And one more thing before I go, I know that the enemy is real good at making the Father's people feel anxious, condemned, unworthy, whenever we realize that I haven't been a bride that's ready. I'm not ready to meet my Maker, like, oh, now I just feel horrible. But I just want to encourage you by saying that the Word continually instructs us to examine ourselves. It says, search me, O God, and know my heart, know my thoughts, not so that we can receive condemnation, but so that his Spirit can come and convict us and transform us into his image, so that we can renounce the things of darkness. Okay, I realize I've been lazy, I've wasted time, I've given time to the enemy. I renounce laziness in my life, and I declare, I speak out that I will be obedient to the Father whenever he speaks, instead of being lazy. That I will say yes to him whenever he says come, and that I will be a bride. And I have to realize that whenever I realize my shortcomings as a bride, I cannot allow the enemy to put me into a state of condemnation, because he sure as heck will try. But I can be actually overflowing with gratitude that the Father is allowing me to see my shortcomings, so that I can be convicted and transformed and cleansed into his image. Because the mere fact that I'm receiving this knowledge of my sin, this conviction, shows that he loves me, because the Word says that he rebukes those whom he loves. He rebukes his children. And so the fact that I'm receiving this conviction shows that he desires an intimate relationship with me. And so my response to that should not be conviction, or it should not be condemnation and feeling like I'm unloved, but rather rejoicing that he's called me to purity, rejoicing that he wants to know me intimately and walk in that relationship with him. So please, no condemnation here, but